with the sciatic nerve, but it actually had to do with arthritis.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I said, well, is there something that we can, test for this or something? She goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. She goes, okay. So says, oh, get on the bed and bend over. And I looked at her. That's my fucking. I'm supposed to say that, not you.
Okay, yeah.
So, we talked about it. I mean, we giggled about it. You know what I'm saying? But we knew who we were giggling about. So
Yeah.
she grabbed, and she's okay, and it's like, yeah, I tell her to bend over. No, so she grabs my ass and starts fondling it. She starts checking to see if I have what I told her is on that poster, right? And I said, yeah, right there. It kind of hurts like right there, but it doesn't hurt a lot. It hurts when I do this, and it hurts when I do that. So she sticks her finger on my butt muscle, you know what I'm saying, and starts poking at it. She goes, yeah, you definitely don't have that, but that was arthritis, right? Or arthritis in the joint or something like that. And I said, well, and what else I got? I mean, what else can it be? She goes, I don't know. She goes, you have to go take another MRI. It's been a long time since you've had an MRI. It's been, what, 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Classic doctor speak.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so now you're going to charge up everything and get an MRI. And I said, well, I have to get back with you, man, because they charge me. I mean, I have to pay a deductible. I guess that's what it is. To do an MRI, it cost me $100 or $200. I think it's 200. I'm not sure. But when I cry, bitch, and complain, they say, okay, we just let you pay $100. So I have to go take that because I didn't have $100 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to go do that. Anyway, I got a problem with my sciatic nerve, man. It fucking hurts, dude. It's like, damn. I'm afraid to find out. Well, of course, everybody, but not that way. It's just, oh, man,
Yeah.
it's getting worse. It's not getting better, More pills, more this, more that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So
judging
anyway,
already.
Have you thought about amputation?
I did. I've thought about it a lot. I've thought about amputating my leg, my foot.
I'm sure you can go to a foreign country and do that somewhere. Like the Netherlands might not have a problem with you just chopping off a leg or something like that.
Well, they'll go to fucking Mexico. You cut this right here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No.
Just a little higher. Just a little higher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want to be able to play with my nub.
Mm-hmm. Stupid.
No, but anyway.
I guess we could start our podcast with saying, did we ever decide on a name for the podcast?
Nah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
I did, and I fucking
Forgot
I
it.
lost it.
Yes. Maybe we can help retrieve it from your inner crevices.
It was mind control.
Yeah. Hypnotize you. Inner thoughts. You're gonna start remembering shit you don't want to.
I know, right? No, let's not go down that.
No, we're gonna
go down that road.
Get out my head. Get out my head. Get out my head.
Exactly. Because I remember you said one that was like Tales from the Barrio.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Was it something pertaining to that, or was it something like damn kids?
Well, no, this was all different deals because I was thinking of one. And I said, yeah, those would be the tales that I said, what happened when I was a child, right, and growing up.
Oh yeah, like that could be the section.
And that could be a section, and then there's somewhere dealing with fucking ignorant people, kind of pisses me off and gets my blood going. What would that one be? Emotional roller coasters or something?
What grinds my gears? We literally have to do a Peter Griffin. You know what really grinds my gears segment?
Yeah, I seen that. and you know what? It was kind of relating to that because it was like remember we were talking about how we're talking about I mean, what we're going to talk about,
Yeah.
and it's like nobody sits there and like I said, we used to go outside and just hang out, and then all of a sudden, all the stories would come out. But it's only when I came around. You know what that remind me of when I told you that shit? Fucking King of the Hill,
King
when
of
they're
the
all
Hill.
sitting out there drinking beer
Oh,
in the
yep.
house. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're sitting there, yeah, and everything around them is happening, and it's their own story. Bobby falling off his fucking bike, they come and do the trash,
Well,
and Peggy takes off, and shit like that.
Well, in the few minutes I have of like audio recording, we already get into that point where I'm like, mm-hmm, and yep, and even Sean says like, yeah, I'll probably be the background guy who just goes, oh, like he just did, fucking idiot. No. In terms of that,
No, yeah, I was thinking about that. I said they already did. They made a fucking cartoon about this shit,
oh
but
man,
it's not Mexican style.
yeah, cartoons could be a good way to segue into that. Okay, so to preface, this podcast is for the sole and purposes of writing a autobiography about my own dad. My father kind of birthed me, kind of thing like that. And you need content material. I wasn't gonna do just a straight script of my dad telling me, and make sure you tell them I kicked both of their asses, and there was no loss on my side of the conflict, and yeah, we're
I
not.
kept my peace.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Y'all can hear some stories for yourself. We can go through that, but the book's gonna kind of be still from the child's perspective.
Well, let's get Marissa into this and lose her deal where she just calls me Papa.
Yeah. No, we can definitely have some guests on a little later. In terms of that, feel free to go down to our Patreon. It's in the description below. If you want to start supporting the podcast, it's very rudimentary right now, but obviously, as you could hear, Dad has some audio diffs, and we have some other quality things that we're going to be working on as we go through the podcast and as we start writing the book. That will also be on the Patreon in terms of supporting the publication cost, which I don't know what they are yet, because we literally decided to do this yesterday, and I'm now recording today. So we will get
On a whim.
yeah, we will get to those when we get to those. But in the meantime, that's no reason not to record. So why don't we start the book and the podcast from the very beginning? We'll go all the way back. Sean, do time frame loss sound effect. It's a cold medical room, and the lights are blinding as you emerge from the womb, and they say,
My boy, his name will be Lucas.
Lucas Pocas.
Lucas.
the doctor said that, and he slapped you on your ass, and now you're here. Dad, tell us about that.
what was your first memory that you can memorize? What was your first memory that you remember?
I need to ask you about that too, Sean, because me and Dad already kind of talked about this yesterday.
Oh,
but,
okay. Well,
But we need to get everyone's side on this. So, Dad, your first memory, the first pages of this book. Oh my God.
I'm alive. Okay, so the first memory, more or less, was first of all, you got to know this. I was a blue baby. And I didn't know this till afterwards, and I think that has a big thing to do with that.
I always
Yeah.
forget. I don't remember until your birthday does come around when it's like Halloween night. Let's preface it with that. It was Halloween night. He was actually being born, and then he's considered dead until the following morning, 12 o'clock, sort of thing like that. So, did they end up saying why you were a blue baby? I don't think you ever told me that.
blue face baby.
No, I was of a blue baby. The definition of a blue baby means you're born dead. So I was born dead with an umbilical cord wrapped around my neck.
That was the reason. That was the reason I was.
Right, and to be honest with you, this came from, and I don't know. Eva I don't know, told me a different story. Mom told me a different story. My mom told me a different story, and then my dad told me a different story. But my dad was, Mexicanese, trying to describe in Spanish, And then
So he went
that whole thing-
a taco.
No, it was just the explanation's a little bit different in Spanish,
Okay, I'm fucking with you. I don't know Spanish.
Right. So I was born a blue baby with umbilical cord around my neck, And what I was trying to say is that the time frame of me being born and when they actually put down the time frame when I was born, that was a question, because supposedly I was a October 31st Halloween baby or something. I don't fucking know.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, I gotta chat again. So
Does any part of you wonder, like, if you're the original soul for that body?
yeah,
Like
because
maybe you were on your way out, and then the baby soul left, and you got put back in.
No, I don't know that part because I'm not somebody else's subconscious, or consciousness or whatever the case is. But I remember things, man. Like, wow, what the hell am I doing here? Before I was born, I remember. I said this before. I remember when before I was born, I had other premonitions or sights or scenes before then, but when I was actually born, I was like, I could see my hands. I could see my body moving. I could feel myself crying. I could actually see.
You had a sense of
And
self that you probably,
yeah, that
yeah.
I was here. I was aware. And it's like, holy crap, it's one, it was fucking cold. I remember shivering like a head, like a mofo.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I just remember being handed to different people. Look at the baby. I guess it was the nurses and whatever have you. And remember being aware, but I had no control over my body.
That's a good
I remember
point.
that.
You probably won't
I
think
had no.
about that from a baby's perspective, but they don't have like any, they develop muscles and tissues and all that, but a lot of it is non-operable until they start developing more.
Right. And I had no control over my body, and it was just like I would see my hand in front of my face. It's like, wow, look at my hand. That's my hand. And then I do remember sucking on my toes. I remember grabbing my foot.
Oh, like being the like that baby kind of thing, like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there, and I could remember talking to my mom and my dad, but like, look who's talking one, or look who's talking two. They made actually a movie about it, and it kind of pinpoints on that perspective. That you're talking, but you're talking with your mind, but they don't hear you.
So you're Stewie from Family Guy.
Pretty much,
Yeah, they're like, oh, I didn't know you could understand me.
Yeah, I remember a bunch of stuff, man. I was a kid, and then when I actually was like, I don't know, I'm gonna say maybe 6 or 7, I think. I was telling my mom and my dad about the pictures and what I saw in the pictures, and I would tell, oh yeah, I remember that, and then I would tell them the parts about, where they were arguing about the flash, because he used to have a real old-fashioned camera where you had to change the bulb out every time, and the bulb would just flash like real
that
hard in
old.
your eyes. And I remember that.
Are you talking about like the photos, like they were kind of like family portraits of y'all? They weren't like black and white, but they were definitely like brown
Like
and tan.
blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they actually had a blue lens, a blue tint to it, and that's the reason why I guess it would come out color, the way they did.
Yeah, because that was like when you were a kid. So what year would that be? Because I remember seeing the photos of you, and I was like, oh, I don't remember taking that photo, because we kind of had the same stupid face, stupid cheeks, stupid smile, stupid eyes.
Look.
Yeah.
Back in 1967 is when I was born. Back in 1967. And I remember seeing those pictures too that my mom and dad had, hanging. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember Dad was fighting about the camera, and you couldn't take the picture, and then you were bitching at my dad, or bitching at Dad, and saying that. My mom would look at me like I was crazy, like, hey, you can't remember that. You weren't there. Well, yeah, I was. I'm in the picture. Look,
Yeah.
But they didn't understand the concept of what I was remembering.
You were there and aware.
That I was there and aware, exactly. So I was deemed the devil.
That's where it all started, folks.
And that's where it all started, exactly.
All right, that's interesting.
So yeah, I was there.
Okay.
And then I was like, well, how do you not remember, or how do you not know what I know? Because you're telling the story, right? But sometimes I guess they didn't remember things. You know what I'm saying? I guess they were preoccupied with life, and You know, just like Sean says, well, I don't know, I don't know, or you just don't want to remember, or you got to mention something hardcore for them to say, "Come on, man, you got to remember this." I
No,
mean,
I get that too. I just have like a hardcore memory loss, and it's funny because when I'm inebriated, I actually start remembering a lot more
not
shit
remembering
in terms
everything.
of like backlog memories. Not like, oh, I forgot to take the roast out of the oven. It's more like, oh, when I was a kid, I used to have this favorite little bouncy ball, and I would chew on it, and this and that. It's like, why the fuck would I remember that, or why would I even try to reclaim that memory?
I remember one
Yeah.
time I almost choked on a marble.
Oh shit.
It's okay.
It wasn't it
I
wasn't a
almost suffocated.
marble. It was like a metal ball that like
A
it was
ball
like
bearing.
magnetic. No, it was like magnetic. It was like a toy that you like stack into each other. It was like I don't know what it's called. It was like magnetic.
Did you
Like
attach a
One of those
cartoon?
magnetic balls.
Did you
yeah,
attach a cartoon magnet to the ceiling fan and see if you could like float around with it, or you just?
Okay, were we around when this happened?
I think mom was there,
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
and then she got it out.
Yeah, y'all were in the emergency room several times for
Yeah, I remember that because I got to beat up my
Christian
nose.
putting beans up his nose.
Whose nose? Whose nose?
Fucking shotgun barrel.
But see, I don't know about these things because it's like, goddamn, if that was the case, I would have taken them away from you.
I don't even remember
I
the
mean-
reasoning I was doing that. I think I liked putting it in my nose and like holding the other nostril and shooting it out because it was kind of like a pating thing. And then it got to the point. I actually had my first oh shit moment with that is when I put it up there and I blew and nothing came out. And my immediate realization was like, oh shit.
You didn't even know like the word shit. You're like, huh?
Yeah,
oh,
no,
shit.
it manifested into me as like a primal fear.
Well,
Anyway.
back in the day when that happened, we actually had to take an emergency room for that. And there was something on TV about that, and I don't remember what that was. I don't remember if that was fucking Teletubbies or something. There was something like that, Dora or something like that. And I remember I said, "Man, they shouldn't put that on TV." Sure enough, you had stuck a bean up your nose, and it's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?"
And then Christian comes around the corner with the bean up his nose.
Yeah.
And over there, his mom was panicking like crazy. "Ah, it's just a bean in his nose. It'll come out or
Worst
blow
case
out."
scenario, they just like cut open my face and I get a cool scar. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, how'd you get that nose scar? It's like, oh, I'm putting a bean up my nose.
yeah, I would never say
that.
that. I would say like a fucking a table saw exploded and the blade like hit me in the face, but it ricocheted as well, so it didn't like kill me on impact.
Yeah, or I fought a cougar when I was in Africa.
Mhm. That was me, by the way. I lived in Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, but Sean, why did you eat the marble? Any?
I
Yeah, it
don't
goes
know. It's like one of those kid things. Actually, that's probably like the earliest memory I have.
Oh, just eating a marble. Just
Eating, like choking on a marble, and then I was like, and then I was like, I'm never doing that again. And then I stick the marble up my nose because I used to do that too. What Christian said.
you just pating it out.
Yeah, and, like it was just like I don't know. It's like I still do it. Like if I see a marble or something, like I just put it in my nose.
You put them in your nose. That's
And
not
they
something
just
to
stay there.
admit.
They just stay there, and then I like, and they
It's like,
shoot out.
oh,
Exactly.
childhood memories, sticking a marble in your nose and it getting caught. Oh my God! See, that's a parent's worst fear. There, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I can imagine because now I'm going through some stuff too. Not like because we think about seeing the baby and just my dogs alone.
The
Just my
baby?
dog. I took a shower and something fell out. Oh, my shaving cream. It like fell out of the bathtub because it was on the edge and it knocked it over. It fell out, and for a second I heard like a little. I was like, oh, what the fuck? I guess, and I looked out and I saw like the back end of my dog like leaving the bathroom. And I was like, oh, she probably just came in and I scared her. Oh well. And then I got out of the shower not even like 4 seconds after, and she had practically eaten a whole tube of the shaving cream. Because this was like, yeah, it literally was 2 seconds. It was not long. I didn't like stand there and scrub. I was on my way out. That's why I knocked it over. But in literally 2 seconds, she demolished an entire thing of shaving cream.
She fucking ate it quick.
Yes, like she knew, like, oh man, I could eat this, and now I need to do it fast because I'm not supposed to eat it. Kids are exactly the same way.
Yeah, and kids know that, and the problem is, man, that shit causes some hair-raising situations or thought scenarios, man. It's like, wow, you tend to know the or tend to sense the worst that could happen,
Yeah.
and that's what gets the best out of you.
On that note, what was the
Okay.
worst scare that you had with, like, each of us? What was the worst scare you had with me? What was the worst scare you had with Sean? And which was the worst one for Marissa?
Before he gets into this,
I know, right?
I remember I was eating Doritos, right? And I was crawling on all fours because I was like a kid, and
You're a goo goo gaga.
I wasn't that much of a kid, but I was like still in that goofy stage where I just like want to do goofy shit. And I remember I coughed. Like just one time, I was like,
Send shrapnel to the direct back of his neck because he
And
coughed
then-
Dorito chips.
no, I was like in the living room. This was like the Robstown house. And I was in the living room crawling in, and I coughed. And then I just feel Dad like smack the fuck out of my back. And I was like, oh, and I started crying. And he's like, are you choking? You choking? I was like, no, I just coughed. I was like, what a dick.
With that in mind, you probably did something really fucked up before that made Dad spring.
Choking. This dude choked on shit, man, and stuff would get caught in his fucking throat, and we'd have to sit there and beat the shit out of him to get it out. There was several times like that with Sean.
Y'all gave Sean a deviated symptom
Yeah. No, he gave it himself, man.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
by choking on Doritos.
He was choking on something. Had to fucking reach in there, and we had to turn him around to get it out. He turned blue on us one time.
Oh, almost had to do a Heimlich. I don't think I've ever seen anyone get to a Heimlich point, but yeah.
Yeah, no, you choked on us I'm gonna say a good 6-7 times, man.
God damn, Sean. That's why you be
6 or
smacking all the
7
time.
times.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Editor, cut that out.
I know, right? that was some scary stuff. Well, one of the scary moments with Sean was, and I think this is what causes deviated symptom.
I know what this one is.
That is we were, when this is how we got the name Baby Jackass, because we were in a living room over there in Austin, and we had TV trays, and I kept telling your mom, don't let him grab the edge of the TV tray because you were that high. Your eyes were at TV tray level. You were 2 years old, I think. So you would always grab the edge of the TV tray, and of course we're eating on TV trays, and we're eating hot foods or whatever the case was, and you'd be grabbing stuff, and it's like, don't be grabbing that. And you remember we were talking about how you say don't say something because you're always saying it, and then that time you don't say it, that's when it happens.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened. Like today, we don't park close to the truck, or don't park close to this, and don't do that, and don't run through the parking lot the way Sean did today, and then just shit like that. So I was trying to tell your mom, don't let him grab a hold of it. And say, you know what? I already told her enough times, man. She should know. Well, she let go of the TV tray. And picked the bowl up, and Sean grabbed a hold of the TV tray, and the TV tray just came down because he pulled on it, came down and smacked him straight in the center of the nose.
Sean, if you're in a Final Destination movie, your brains would have like shot out of the bottom of your feet or something.
Like,
Well,
the TV tray
what
would have gone
happened.
like.
Yeah,
to
like
men.
you weren't like a hard enough head that it just totally cleaves you in half.
That's what happened. The fucking blood shot out from his eyes, and your mom was all panicky again. So we grabbed Sean. Sean's over there on his what do you call that cry when you go huh, 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 and then and you can't fucking cry anymore.
Yeah, you just like
He was on one of those cries, and it's like, oh my shit, and blood was in his eyes. It wasn't coming out of his nose. It was coming out of his eyes. So
Yeah.
here we go to the emergency room. I think that's what happened. They didn't do anything for Sean. They just told him, hey, he's got baby bones still, and it'll
He
fix
bounced
itself or
back.
something. Yeah, he'd be all right.
Yeah.
Just don't eat with TV trays no more.
That's all his
That was the
medical degree
remedy on
got
that.
you.
Like, what the shit?
Sean, do you remember that?
No.
Was it like a classical like movie thing where like the baseball comes towards the camera and there's like a flash of black and then just like broken screen for you?
I do not. The only thing I remember, like me going in the ambulance, was whenever like I hit my neck.
Yeah.
Like jumped on my neck, and then I couldn't move, and they laid me on the couch, and then Dad was like, "Can you move?" It's like, did you ask me if I could like move my feet and all that?
I think I did. I
He's
don't
like
remember.
pinching your toes
I
and
think he
stuff.
just asked if I can move my neck. I was like, I can, but I don't want to. It hurts.
Yeah, I think it was just a scare out of him. But yeah, those are the days. Those are the times when you really got damaged and nothing was really said, because the shock kicks in and you just don't feel it, until later.
Damn. All right.
And yours, Christian, wasn't an actual anything that got hurt or anything, but you had climbed on top of the house and you're acting like fucking Peter Pan with the goddamn towel on your deal. And I'm over there looking for you on the house and looking for you all over the place, and you're on the roof. And it's like, I turn around and I see your shadow on the ground, and I'm like, with the towel flailing in the fucking wind, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I look up toward the house, and there you are with a fucking diaper, and your hands, crossed like Superman with a fucking towel around your neck and shit, wanted to jump off. That scared the shit out of me.
I had an infatuation with flying. I saw the Peter Pan animated movie, and I believed if I thought hard enough and I tried hard enough and got to a high enough spot, I would be able to fly. And I just wanted to fly around like the neighborhood. That was my intention. I wanted to fly around the neighborhood and look at everyone like from above. And I never thought to myself, why isn't anyone else flying? I thought, I can't wait to fly. I just need to be high enough.
Well, I kind of blame myself for that, because I would grab y'all by y'all's hands.
Oh, yeah.
And I would swing y'all around.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave you an awesome high, because I would do it to centrifugal force kicked in. You know what I'm saying?
No, it really did. I remember those.
And it was like, holy shit. And then after I seen you on the roof, man,
Mm-hmm.
nah, this has got to stop.
Is that where you stopped lifting your baby boy?
You fucked it off for everybody, man. It's like, damn.
Father won't carry me because I want to fly.
I want to fly. Throw me, wee.
No,
yeah,
son.
No. And all of y'all wanted that. Y'all would always come and hug me and grab me in my arms and throw me, Sean, me. It's like, hey, that's enough. I'm tired. I'm getting old.
That was not a concept for kids.
I know, right? Never even seen that.
No, exactly.
Yeah, that's what started it. I think that's what started it all.
That's when he began to distance himself from his children.
Everything is scary. Everything. Because that right there, I mean, I was constantly keeping an eye. It's not like I said, well, no, they'll be okay, and then not pay attention to y'all. I was always watching y'all. Okay, I'd be doing something, cutting something on the bandsaw, and I cut something, and I come back and say, okay, where are they at? Well, let me go look for them. Okay, where are they at? Let me go look for them. Where are they at? Let me go look for them. That was constant.
What a nightmare.
And that's a fucking nightmare. Exactly. It's a fucking nightmare to constantly keep thinking about that shit. It's like Groundhog Day. You're constantly thinking about that. It doesn't go away.
When it's going to circle back around that you didn't check on your kid and he started trying to swallow a knife or something.
Yeah. And it always happened that route. And, my mom was like that too. And I think that was instilled in me in reference to kids. And I guess that was one of the reasons why I always said, I don't want kids.
Yeah. That's a line we need to come back to. But in terms of that, we also need to talk about your third child.
Yeah, because that was I hated that feeling sensation that you couldn't do anything about it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't do anything about it. It's done. And Marissa broke her arm when she jumped off that deal, and you can't do anything about it. And that Barbie house of hers, I don't know why the fuck she jumped off the top of that.
I want to know how she jumped off it, because it broke her arm. So did she like swan dive off this little dollhouse, or did she just fall forward? Her legs stayed on the top of the house, and she just kind of pivoted down towards the ground. Like, do you know what happened?
I don't know. That was the point. That was that was when I was inside playing with y'all and everything else. And then I went over there. I guess I went to the kitchen to make a jelly sandwich or something. I can't remember why I left. And then I came back and your mom's all like, oh, she fell down off the dollhouse. No, she didn't. She didn't fall down because, kids don't fall down like that. They intentionally do it. So that was a jump.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I was like, did you suspect foul play or something? Or
no, you just don't. Okay, when another kid's involved, possibly, yeah. But when a kid's doing it by themselves, they don't fall down. You don't fall down, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I had also another infatuation with just kind of doing that.
Well, what I'm saying is like, okay, so example. You see all these videos, right? And the videos are on the baby cribs. Well, you see all these kids on the cribs, right? Mm-hmm. And they get out, and sometimes they fall head first or whatever the case is, but they catch themselves. So there's only like 1 in a million that fall head first and doesn't know the concept of catching themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that wasn't a fall. That was an intentional jump kind of thing. And what I mean by that is you see all these videos about all these kids getting hurt and or not getting hurt, but they fell out of the crib or they got out of the crib where you would have said that kid should have been dead. You know what I mean? and didn't. So it didn't happen that way. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. You have a.
It's just a reaction that kids will have. Because they have some semblance of balance and self-preservation that no kid should fall head out of a crib and not at least try to put their arms up or to crane their neck or try to throw their bottom down so they spin and land on their back.
I'm pretty sure that
like even a baby has that reaction.
Yeah, even a baby has that reaction, and you have some tales, and we'll probably talk about him later, is like Gilbert. They said he fell off the bed. Okay.
Oh, but man, that's sad.
But that's the point, is did he? You know what I mean?
Oh, gotcha. Now that's foul play. We have to do a murder mystery section with that.
Yeah. No. We shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah.
But anyway. So that's I don't know. You hear stories, but seriously, it's only like 1 in a million, Mm-hmm. So anyway, she fell off and broke her arm. Well, she didn't fall off. She jumped off and broke her arm.
Yeah. Because I always wonder that too. Because I don't think Marissa even remembers the exact details. Because we talked about it recently.
Yeah, she does. She told me she didn't remember, so I was like, okay. Because I always wanted to know what actually happened. She just said she remembered climbing on the dollhouse, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's every minute. It's every fucking minute. It's like, wow. And it's every minute to where it's exhausting.
But do you ever have like kind of a semblance of pride, like when you're laying in bed and you know that we are sound asleep and locked up and not able to swallow a knife, and that you think to yourself, I did it. I got through another day.
With y'all? No, there was never one of those days.
Never? Oh, it was...
It was always like, what the fuck are they doing? No, they're sleeping. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're jacking around.
Yeah.
No. I mean, there was a couple of times where it was like, okay, you should asleep. They're sure asleep. But we never locked the door on y'all or anything like that, because you never know what would happen.
Mm-hmm. You had to get in.
Yeah. It's just crazy ass shit.
All right. No pride in his work. That's my dad.
Yeah. And that goes with another story, and of course we'll talk about this one later. But anyway, it goes with another story. Me and your mom took off one time, and we went to where the fuck did we go? Astroworld. Mm-hmm. I can't remember where we went. It was just me and her, and we went to Astroworld. No, y'all were there.
I don't think I remember Astroworld.
No, y'all were there. It was Astroworld. Was it Astroworld? I can't remember.
I remember a few theme parks that y'all took us to that I could not pin down in terms of what the main theme was. I remember going to probably like a Renaissance. I got my face painted as a dragon. I remember going
Yeah.
to a somewhat theme park that might have been Astroworld. It was like with all the
You know what?
aunts.
I think that one's it because we were in Houston and it's either Astroworld or the Renaissance that we would have gone to Houston. So it was in Houston.
I think I remember that because I think, it was the Renaissance because I think I had my first like, moment with a woman because they were wearing those like, what do you call? Yeah, they were wearing those undercut dresses, and this woman in
Cleavage
particular.
showing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this woman in particular had a very massive cleavage, and I remember staring at that, and then I remember seeing people eating mutton, and then I remember getting my face painted, and that was the culmination of that memory.
Pervert
I
child.
was, yeah.
Hey, well, anyway, so one of those deals is, and this is one of those moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we get in there, and your mom wanted to go drink, and it's like, okay, well, no, I was a responsible person. I'll
Mm-hmm.
take credit for that one. Your mom wanted to drink, so I bought two bottles, and I'm like, no, I felt really weird that something was gonna happen, and then your mom's like, let's just drink and have a good time. I said, no, I feel bad, man. I feel something's gonna happen. And I said, and if I'm drunk and I can't control the situation, then it's going to be even
It's gonna
worse, right?
escalate, yeah,
Yeah. So your mom sat there and drank the fucking bottle, of course, because she was a wino,
yeah.
and
I never thought about that about mom.
y'all were asleep. She goes, let's just go and just sit outside and have a drink. And I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
something's gonna happen. And there was nobody there in this hotel. There was nobody there. Like literally, there was nobody there. We were like on that only wing.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, here comes this other couple, and we heard them coming in and getting and putting their stuff in the room. And I said, why did they fucking put them right there next to us? Out of the whole motherfucking hotel, they had to put them right there next to us. Why
Yeah.
couldn't we just be alone? This is our time to be alone. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they had two kids, okay, and they coming in. I think it was maybe like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and they were rowdy as fuck. Like, oh, look at the swing, look at the swing. Of course, there was nobody there, so nobody was complaining except for us. So I was just sitting there, and I was like, oh my fucking god, something's gonna happen. Here comes these kids, right, and they're just rowdy. Ah, look at the swing, we got swing. Dad, to come check that. No, mom, I'm like, come look. Well, the adults in that other room were not paying attention to their kids.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't even seeing them or looking at them because I was outside next to the doors, and the doors were glass doors. That's the hint.
Oh man, you had like the universe actually sent you a premonition. Is like, this is what will happen if you don't
Exactly.
watch your
So I'm
children.
looking. So I'm looking, and I'm like that little girl with the snot coming out of that little boy's demon. I'm looking sideways and looking at the kids and looking at the parents and looking at the kids, and it's like, oh shit, something's about to happen. Well, the parents were inside, and I guess they were unpacking their suitcase or whatever, trying to get laid or whatever the case was. I don't know, and
Mm-hmm.
ignoring the kids.
Oh, Martha,
Well, they
you look
closed.
so good.
Yes, and they closed the fucking door,
Oh,
and here comes the kids full speed toward the room.
oh, oh.
And I walk inside, and I'm like, fuck this. I do not want to be a part of
You
this.
don't want to be a witness to
And
it.
all I hear is kaboom, ka-ch-, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then crying. And then I'm like, oh my God, here we go. So I'm inside the room, and I'm your mom's drinking, and she fucking gets paranoid, like, oh fuck, man, here comes a guy. See, yeah. And then that's when I told her, see, I didn't want to drink because of that fucking reason. We can't
Oh
go
my
no
god.
fucking where without something fucking happening. Sure enough, ambulance was called. I don't know what happened, dude, because I didn't want to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the ambulance was called, and the cops and everything. They were there within 5 fucking minutes, man.
Yeah.
And if we would have gotten drunk and all the cops were there, oh, how come you didn't do anything about it? You were neglecting the kids. Well, they're not fucking my kids. I
Yeah.
mean, then we would have been in deep shit because of that. It's like, oh man, fuck that. You know,
I
I went to bed pissed off.
I bet. I want to preface that story for everyone who has never met my dad. I want to say he is a universal turning point. Um, And I mean that in the regards of he does say what he means because he has experience with it. I also believe that by acknowledging the things that he says and what he's being prepared for, he actually brings it upon himself. He creates it. He's a universal turning point. In terms of if my dad says, "Oh, I'm worried that freaking gold is gonna fall from the sky and crush my head, and that's why I wear this hard hat." There's gonna be a time where not gold will fall out of the sky, but maybe a dead bird, and it would have crushed his head, and he would have been justified in his actions for wearing a hard hat outside.
And a gold bird fell on his head.
Yeah, it was a gold-colored bird, but not a gold bird, not a bird made of gold. And that has happened consistently, by the way.
Yes, and I think that has a lot to do with that blue baby syndrome bullshit that I went through when I was a baby. And getting back to that's one of the deals. There's a few people in this world, I think, and those are ones that can remember being born. And I think those are the people that need to be heard or listened to, because they might not be the smartest people, but they're the knowing.
Maybe some sage wisdom, not so much how to say fortune telling, but definitely a pool of knowledge that could be tapped there.
Right.
A well of knowledge.
I always believed in this. There's two people in this world, and it's kind of a rhetorical question, but there's two people in this world, one that believe and one that know. Who are you?
Who are you?
And who are you? Exactly.
Yeah, put it in the comment below.
I know. Remember that Mexican I told you? He knows. Yeah. But anyway, it just that's always been I think that's a curse for me.
Yeah.
I always like premonition or see things before me, and it's like, shit, should I say anything or not? Oh, I don't know.
In terms of that, I actually want to ask the question, Sean, are you a person who believes or a person who knows? Put him on the spot.
Can I answer for him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. He don't know. See, he don't know.
I like to say I believe. I'm a believer. Justin Bieber, please come on my podcast. Please, oh please.
All right.
I want to talk about that monkey.
What monkey? What are you talking about?
He left a monkey in a hotel room, and I think it was about to die. It basically destroyed the hotel room.
Oh my God.
Like just shit. It wasn't like a little bonobo, like a little, like in the zoo monkey. It was like a chimp.
Yeah. Well, I heard something about that, but I didn't know what it was regarding,
I'm not. Now I want to just make sure I'm not spreading misinformation. Opens up about his confiscated monkey. Okay, maybe.
No, he did do that. He left it at a
Okay, no. I was wrong. It was a capuchin monkey, but he still left it in the hotel room, and it caused some damage.
That's crazy. Irresponsible kids.
Yeah. I don't know, Sean, if you had the ability to buy a monkey and just take it wherever, would you?
No, because I don't like monkeys.
You don't like their little human faces?
I mean, they're cool, but I'm not gonna fucking buy a monkey as a pet. That's something that you would see at the zoo. Or
But Sean, what if you were browsing the exotic pet store because you're big famous and you had the money, and the little monkey reached out his little capuchin
monkey
hand.
Paw.
Yeah, and he's like,
maybe if I could well train it, I could train it really well. Then yeah, it'd be my little monkey companion.
I would. I'd go buy a monkey. I always wanted a monkey when I was a kid.
Really? Was there a direct reason for that, or
just things about owning animals? I was the guy who wanted a fucking horse, the big Clydesdale horse. I was the guy who wanted to own a panther.
Yeah.
So that's why I became a drug lord at one point in time in my life. Never got that to that point, but oh well.
Yeah, yeah. Dad almost became a Heisenberg, and he wanted a Brooklyn Supreme horse.
Shit. And then a monkey came to be because they were like cool. I mean, little monkey,
Monkeys are too epic.
And but I didn't know anything about it, about owning a monkey, right? You just like, oh, monkey, right?
Yeah, you thought you just feed them banana a day and they'd be all right, and
they'd be all right.
not that they
exactly.
need a living space. They're territorial. They'll pee everywhere. They could still
and then
rip a
they'll
baby
turn
face off.
against you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they could bite you and
And then
cause severe infections.
They don't tell you these things, It's like owning a parrot. Oh, it's a parrot. Then you stick your finger in and it bites a fucking chip off your damn finger. It's like, nobody tells you that. Just, own a bird.
You
and
just
they
think bird
stink like
companion.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
fucking love the internet for that reason, because back then you don't think about that, and you definitely didn't think of that as a child. But growing up, when I wanted an animal, I would search up best ways to care for a parrot or something like that, and almost all the articles are immediate, just about you could own one, but if you aren't able to do this, or this, you'd be a terrible bird owner.
But, exactly.
Yeah,
And you're like, damn, I'm the first one already.
yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I'm not able to be there at all hours of the day because they need constant companionship. So if I get one bird, I have to at least get two, and that's if they like each other. And then I have to make sure they're constantly not
Oh, my
preening,
God.
over preening each other.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have to make sure they have enough living space because they get territorial, even though they need to be social. They can become antisocial, and then I have to constantly be touching them. Otherwise, they will forget the touch of my hand, and then they'll be aggressive towards humans after that, and it's permanent.
Yeah. Like Sean's bird.
Yeah.
Celia, I went to go try to touch it. She bit the shit out of me.
Well,
I wanted to stomp her.
you do have big, delicious sausage-looking fingers, so I don't blame the bird. I think you're in the wrong here.
But she ruffles her feathers though. When I go into the room,
She ruffles her feathers when she
Like-
sees sausage too.
like if I scare her or something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does
Or
she,
I'm
like, puff
a
up?
threat to her or something.
Mm-hmm.
Does she puff up?
Does she what?
Does she puff up?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does that.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's her sense of saying, you're a threat to me or something. But I keep fucking with her and trying to flick her with my finger and stuff and shit. But no, I mean, she used to come to me, you know what I mean? And she used to get on my shoulder, and now she's like, fuck you, you're ignoring me, you little fucker.
Yeah, Sean didn't read the several online articles telling him why he would be a bad owner.
Yeah. And if you do-
Yeah, that little booger.
In his defense, almost every animal has that shit.
What?
He's like, oh, you can't own this breed of dog if you don't have a lawn of at least
Big yard.
2 acres. Otherwise, you're a bad owner.
And the dog that I always wanted was one of those Mastiff, those Behemoth Mastiff.
I did
What are they
too.
called?
I did too, but Ursula is constantly telling me is like how aggressive and unfriendly they are, and
But they're not. They're actually friendly.
yeah,
They're actually. The only thing is they learn big turds bigger than yours. So it's like, holy shit.
you have to clean them.
Well, you know.
That,
yes,
that
and
would be
on
a
daily
terrible
basis.
thing to find out. It's like you have a little capuchin monkey, but then you realize it like shits it's like 5 times its weight every day. So you're like cleaning up
Yeah.
massive capuchin monkey piles of shit.
Yeah, and I'm not a shit kind of guy.
Yeah, I see it. Sean, are you a shit guy or a poop guy or a piss guy or?
Can't really say I'm into that. Nope.
You're not a Chester and Hester.
No, I'm not.
We're gonna.
You know
touch-
what that is, isn't it? Or am I talking way out of my league here?
probably
Or
out
am
of
I
our
talking
league. That's one of those generational gap things we don't understand.
Okay, Chester and Hester, look it up. Chester and Hester was a cartoon that would come out in the Playboy magazines. And what they would like to do was they were the shit likers. Like they would shit on a glass table and see each other shit. That kind of thing.
Okay.
And that was their name.
Fuck! I looked it up and I immediately saw two older people in church with like brown stains on their back. That's
that's a good
oh
call.
my god, Sean! If you look at these, this is probably it's like akin to DeviantArt fetish porn.
Probably not.
That's a part of fetish, man, that you don't want nobody to know.
And it's a shit fetish. Oh my god! It's just a huge pile of vomit and like tits in it. What the hell?
It's nasty.
This
man.
is nasty. And then Steamboat Willie's next to it for some reason.
And you know, Playboy's I think it was Playboy or Hustler. I can't remember. It's probably Hustler. And Playboy's supposed to be the classy, part of it, and Hustler was supposed to be the run. I think it was Hustler. They
Hustler,
put him in
baby.
Chester and Hester,
Yeah.
and because it would show that fucking fetish porn. It's like that's some fucking sick shit, man.
Oh man. That's gonna be a really big topic. Not for that, but it's like the it's one of those things that, like, the more things change, the more things stay the same.
Yeah.
It's really funny because y'all's main media back then was publication, where ours is, a website
Media.
that's like somewhere online that you can browse privately. So y'all had to go out. Y'all had to go out to the newsstand and buy your Playboy and be like, "Is this the new one with Chester and Hester?" It's like, yeah.
Yeah,
like-
you sick fuck.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I love Chester and Hester.
And that's how we met. How we had things in common.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the weird part is ours advanced, I think, to benefit that side of things, and y'all's just made it really fucking awkward.
Yeah, it was really bad.
That's so
It was really
funny.
bad to where even like our generation, you turned 18 or 17 and you were into, okay, I want to see girls, and you like wanted to buy the Playboy magazine, and the only way you could do it was to mail order it. So you would mail order it, but you'd never got that fucking mail. It was always your mom that got that mail.
Oh my god.
And it's like, why? Jeez. And how do you answer that question?
Yeah, it's like getting caught
Why?
ordering pay-per-view or something like that. It's like you can't excuse it. Obviously, you had a bunch of foresight to write the letter, write the address, lick the stamp, seal the envelope, and then send it out and just tap your foot there while you're waiting.
But you waited, exactly.
Oh
And then
my God.
the time when you actually had to get up and take a shit, that's when the mailman would come and deliver your fucking Playboy, and your mom got the goddamn mail. It's like, oh, shit.
That's so fucking funny. That's probably akin to us like forgetting to wipe our browser history. And the thing is, like, all of our online devices and shit are connected, so we could like accidentally stumble across somebody's search history and things like that. Especially, I guess, the time you were trying to order Playboys,
Yeah.
because then
It's
that
messed
shit would
up.
come up. Yeah.
I confronted my mom on the first time. Well, even before I ordered it, I told her, I said, "Mom, I ordered Playboy," and then she looked at me like, "What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna order Playboy," and she's all like, "Oh, why?" And I'm like, "Wait,
What do you
why
think?
would I not order Playboy? 'Cause that's what every teen guy does, Mom." So I took it to her playing field.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna smoke some cigarettes and blow it in your face.
Yes.
Because that's what we do. We smoke inside.
Yeah. So she's like, "Well, I guess I won't be getting the mail." And I'm, "Well, don't."
I'll get it.
She goes, "No, you can, and bring it to me if you want."
No, that's like akin to like saying like, "Hey, Dad, could you pull up that browser I like so much before I get home?
You
Yeah.
warmed it up for me.
Can you warm it up for me?" That's fucked.
That was an awkward deal. You know what I mean? Very, very awkward, man.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
I like how though it's still a staple of growing up because like we were just saying, we both had some kind of experience where that had to come up, not just for ourselves, but between a child and a parent.
Yeah.
I would like to actually make
Smart,
that.
Sean.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was that? Okay. Sicko, you talking that mic. You had to lean in for that one. You didn't do it loud enough for it to be picked up.
No,
He grabbed the mic and put it on his butthole.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know that
You
you
sick
know I
fuck, you
never
watch
made
Chester and Hester.
I know, right? I never made that uncomfortable for y'all. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know if y'all felt uncomfortable. That was on y'all.
Not in a
But
sense. I would like to talk about that in a later like main topic thing. It's gonna be a raunchy episode, but it's also part of growing up, so you can't go without. In terms of that, I wanted to reel this conversation back. And actually, because we went on a good hour tangent there. So you described your first being born and kind of remembering that stuff. I wanted to get Sean's on that because mine, when I was telling you, Dad, it was very similar to that, where I felt like I was kind of just floating in like a void kind of thing, and I was getting flashes of memories, and I was basically aware but unaware of everything. Because I would remember meeting people, and in my head, I'm like, oh, who's this person? I never met this person before. And then I answer my own question, not even a second later, and being like, oh, that's my aunt. She's visited me several times. And then I think in my head, it's like, what's an aunt? And I was like, oh, well, that's the sister to my father. I was like, oh, cool. Is there a brother to my father? Yeah, that's my uncle. That's my Uncle Junior. When did I see him? How do I know who Uncle Junior is? Like, things like that would happen. And that was happening with every aspect of life when I was around 3 years old, I think. I remember Dad would tell me something like, don't touch the stove. And I'd be like, what's a stove? And then I was like, oh, yeah, the stove heats our food up and Mom cooks on it. And it was like, wait, what's cooking? It's like, oh, I put shit in my mouth because I need to live, kind of thing like that.
that's when you became aware. You know who touched the stove? Marissa touched the stove.
I remember touching this A stove as well. I kind of wanted to ask y'all about that because I don't know if I got burned or shocked because everything after I touched the stove was kind of fuzzy.
You did touch the stove, but supposedly it wasn't that hot.
It was the electric one outside.
I don't remember what happened, but it wasn't that hot out. It wasn't that hot for you to get scarred or blistered or something like that. Marissa got red. She got red, but you touched it and I guess you got scared.
I don't remember because I remember touching it. I remember there being pain, and then I remember waking up in y'all's room and y'all told me I had burned myself. Like, that's all I remember of the transaction.
Shit. Well, maybe you did get burned. Maybe you did get burned. I don't remember. Too many drugs been taken since then.
Exactly. In terms of that, Sean, what is your earliest memory? When did you first gain sentience and realize that it was a bad move in general?
I don't know. Like I told you, like
fucker, you said the line.
Well, like I told you, like ever since like 5 years old, just blank. I do remember like bits and pieces.
It was a marble.
I was pretty young.
That's fucked. What if you gained sentience from the marble? Like it just
all clicked.
You were a blank slate until the marble touched your lips, and then it fused with your psyche. Yeah.
Woke you up.
I remember. Yeah, I wouldn't play Mario Kart with me, so I scratched the fuck out of it on the floor.
Yeah, I remember that. I also remember that being like that was me reflecting on me being like an asshole to you, because I remember when you did that, I was so mad at you. I wanted nothing more than Dad to beat you, so I went and told Dad. Because I was like, if I do it, I'll get in trouble. And then I don't think him scratching up my game disc would have justified it. So I went over there and was like, hey, Dad, Sean's like pitching a fit. He's like destroying games and stuff. And then he went over there and beat you. And then I was thinking back on it. And I was like, oh, fuck, I feel bad for that. Because thinking back on it now, I don't give a shit. But young me was like, oh, I was so angry. I wish Dad would beat you.
I think Isaac was there too.
That was funny. Was he?
Yeah.
I remember. I just remember you threw like a really bad fit on that one. Like you got red faced and like
Yeah.
yelling.
There was a couple of times that he would get pissed off because he wouldn't fucking play games with him, or y'all wouldn't teach him how to play the game or something, and that motherfucker would go on a rant.
We
Jesus
really
Christ.
did. Yeah, we really did give Sean some complexes with that shit because his classic line he would say was, "Oh, I was never born," because we would reminisce or something like that at like 5 all the way to 7, and Sean wanted to be in on it because he was like a young baby.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then we were like, "No, Sean, you weren't there. You weren't born." He's like, "Oh, I never born." Like,
Yeah, no born.
I never born to reminisce. Like he couldn't remember if he was or not.
Or that'd be the part where he would say, "I remember," and Rissa would tell him, "No, you weren't born yet."
I was just creating like false memories.
Yeah, you were. You were just implanting yourself. You're having fantasy dreams.
I was there. I promise.
I remember the texture of the orb.
That is messed up, man. That is messed up. That's another one part right there. Not wanting to have kids is that bullshit right there. The
Just like random
hatred,
interactions
man.
like that. Oh,
There was that, but the hatred is so intense, man. It is so real. It is so like life stopping and life ending at the same time, where nothing else matters.
You mean the hatred of a child or something?
The hatred of a child toward another child doing whatever the fuck they're doing.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
okay. So like, what would you call that? The avarice?
I don't know. I don't know the definition of that. That's like, you're playing swings, and then that one that wants to play swing, you can't get him on the swing because he's too small.
Yeah.
He'll fall off, doesn't know how to swing, so they get pissed off, and the hatred that they show is like so immense. It's like
pure.
Just pure hatred. Yeah, they don't have any kind of moral decisions clouding their thought process behind that. All they know is that motherfucker's on my fucking swing, and I want to be on the fucking swing. I'm gonna kill him.
If you would give a knife to a child that has that much hate, you would kill.
Yeah, he would have just done it.
He would have just done it without no other thoughts behind it. He would have just done it. Damn, I'm surprised there's no more, or not a whole lot more child killers.
Like stories about child killers.
Or maybe there is. We're just not hearing it. And they just come up with some excuse that, he fell down the stairs or something.
Like,
and then, yeah, because then they would have grown out of it, and then they probably wouldn't have even remembered it because it's just a fleeting child memory. But there might have been a moment where some kid was standing with their little brother next to the steps, and they like took their favorite toy, and they were like, and they just kill him.
Yeah, that's and see, I experienced that, and I remember that. A lot of adults don't. They don't remember that, and I guess that's how they come up with the storyline or the saying, "Don't run with scissors," because that's not exactly what happened.
It's funny thinking about that, but then I'll see like horror movies with the same premise, and I'm like, this fucking sucks. Because even though it's that, it's still only effective like towards like a child, like with a child. Because like if a child tried to like cut my Achilles or something, like in a horror movie scene, I would have just grabbed him by the skull and just
bashed his head in.
Yeah,
right.
Like, he probably would have cut my Achilles, but I would still gonna kill this small child. It's not like a Chucky. That's why I hate Chucky so much.
Yeah. They couldn't do so much with a child, or when a child got actually attacked him, they're swinging him back and forth in their face.
Mm-hmm. Or it's a child's doll.
Yeah, you got the muscle to throw him off.
Yeah, but they're just holding it on their head like like he's overpowering them or something.
Yeah, doesn't make no sense.
I was gonna say, once you have your arms on him, you could totally just rip him in half. Like just flip him over, grab both of his heels, and just pull.
Fold, yeah. Oh man, that's funny shit though. But yeah, man, if you were to give a kid when he's in his most hatred moment, man, a knife, he would kill. I know he would.
That being said, Sean, I don't think I ever wanted to kill you. Were there moments you wanted to kill me?
Let me think.
Yes.
Those, it's just a classic rage that kids go through.
We didn't get what we wanted, so we lashed out, kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Was I like that child?
I don't think you were. I think you were more stupid than anything, but not in the sense of like you're. No, let me rephrase. I think you're a little more ignorant to it, and because we were slightly older than you, not saying we were like more mature, but it was kind of that. So when we say like, or maybe like the thing with the breaking your neck thing is like, no, Sean, you probably shouldn't jump and flip like I am because you don't have the motor skills to do it. And you're like, no, I can do it. And then you jumped and flipped and only almost paralyzed yourself.
Yeah.
I remember that a lot.
That's even worse because, Sean did that on his own. Y'all didn't make him do that. It would have been different if y'all made him do that. But this motherfucker is more dangerous because he thought of it on his own and said, I can do it. Say no.
Doing it, so I was like, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize they had like
we had
3
more
years ahead of me.
Yeah, we had 3 years of dexterity helping us do a flip where you thought you jump and slide and you'll make it and you just landed straight on your head.
I bet you that was a sight to see, though.
It was. Oh, we were talking about that. Like me and Sean were talking about like classic AFV and those shows we remember watching, like the 20 Most Shocking and shit like that, where you would just see dudes like live on camera get absolutely demolished by like a speeding car or something, and then the broadcaster's like, and you wouldn't believe what happens next, and then he like pinwheels and then lands on the ground. He's like, curse splat, and we're watching it like in hysterics, like, curse splat. Yeah.
Hey, Christian, you remember that one? You remember that one when me and you watched, and it was Stacy Keach. I was doing the announcement, and he said, and he responded.
Yes, like, that is like a core memory. And he responded the only way he knew how. Yeah, and then he looks up, and his whole like lower jaw is like missing. He's like, we were laughing so goddamn hard at that.
I was fucking laughing so hard on that one because I've been there.
Yeah. And that's a good segue to, I guess the purpose that we're saying these stories is that growing up, even though Dad was monitoring us and things like that, we still got into situations where we're like not deathly in danger, but it was some experiences that we kind of mirrored through his sort of thing like that. In terms of that, I don't think you've ever talked much about like the aunts and uncles in terms of like, I don't know, like sibling relationships. I knew y'all's relationship as an adult, but I guess to kind of phrase the question at you too, did you ever remember a time where you were so, I don't know, angry with one of your siblings or disappointed that you weren't ever born and you wanted to be a part of the fun or something like that? Since you were the youngest, right?
Yeah.
Was there ever an instance that you can recall for that?
No, actually, because my brothers and sisters would how do I say it? I don't know, back me up on what I wanted to do, I guess, because I was the baby or something. I don't know. So I never really experienced something like that. And if I did, it was a heavy price to pay because that's how I how do I say, got my eye blown out.
Yeah.
They told us not to go outside and play because the parents were not home. I don't even know where my mom and dad went. I think they went to a what they call a quinceañera at that time.
So you did it to them. You pulled a us.
Pretty much. Yes.
Like, we can go to the party. Well, they'll be fine. They just at home with some high-powered explosives, but they'll be fine.
Well, no, they told us not to go out, and then my sister Eva let us go out, and then that's when I came back, and they blamed my sister Eva. I guess that's why Eva had so much hatred for my mom, and my dad on some plane, And
Did they ever?
It wasn't.
Sorry, go ahead.
What? No, it wasn't her fault. I mean, it was just that fireworks, go out and play. You didn't think devastation. I mean, if that was the case, then we wouldn't be going out and playing, you know?
I was going to say, we always thought devastation because you were really paranoid with the fireworks.
I was, and
for
were,
like
you were
in
one
your
of the
defense, yeah. Yeah, you
you were
had
one of
well
the dumb
reason.
ones to stick your face in the goddamn cannonball.
It wasn't even lighting.
But still, you don't put your face in it.
Yeah.
So
I
no,
won't let him win
that
on this,
that
guys.
was the deal. I
Okay.
had my eye blown out. So no, they always let me do whatever they wanted to do, and I guess I never really had that. And if I did, I think, man, I don't even know about this, and I was just kind of like remembering it one time.
Mm-hmm.
Norma was telling, I can't remember what it was. Norma was scolding me for something, and I don't remember that part. So at the time, I think, I was playing with needles at the time. I'm not sure. My mom's
As you
needles.
do.
Yes, and my
I was
sister was telling
sticking
me,
up up
don't.
my nose.
Yeah, and trying to blow them as darts.
Yeah. If I could have done that, I would have done that.
Oh my God. So no, I don't know what the deal was. I was playing with my mom's stuff. I think my mom's sewing stuff, and she came at me and told me not to be playing with it, not to be playing with it, that you're gonna get stuck with it or whatever have you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, I know what I'm doing. And she kept on, right? Because I was always trying to help my mom sew, because she would always involve me in that. So it was like, all right. And then
You
Norma
little
came
Nancy
at
boy.
me and yeah, she thought I was gonna be. Oh, never mind. But not say it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. She thought I was gonna grow up to be a little gay boy. No, I'm just joking. So anyway, we were playing with the needles, right? And Norma, I think, was trying to keep me from them or something. I don't really remember the details behind it. So I grabbed one of the needles that actually tears the seams up, and it's kind of a thick needle with a little blade on the end,
Mm-hmm.
and I stuck it in Norma's butt.
Bro.
I ran up to her and I stuck it in her butt, and she got pissed.
You
She
went,
wanted to,
yeah!
yeah, she really literally wanted to fucking kill me, man. And I know, I don't know why I did that
It's because you
though. I
saw it
don't
in the
know.
cartoons, Dad. You've seen it happen to Tom and Jerry, and you're
Yeah,
like, I want her to do the funny Tom and Jerry scream.
I think that's
Ah.
I think that's what it was, and I didn't think anything would come out of that.
You
So
fucking idiot.
Like,
yes,
like the needle will bounce off, but like they go like boink.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
go, you just stabbed her.
Exactly, and at that moment that I knew that it penetrated her skin, I'm like, holy
Oh,
shit,
fuck.
I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
Oh,
So I
okay.
ran.
Yeah, no, I want to tell
So I
you a
ran.
story like that. I want to tell you a story like that because I also had that oh shit moment because it was kind of how we were talking about. I'm not sure if anyone in on the podcast is aware of this because it's probably gonna be some of Dad's family and just some random fucking teenagers on the internet. But we were talking about the Lord of the Flies book, and Lord of the Flies. The premise is that a bunch of kids from a little Boy Scout troops get stranded on an island, and the only adult with them dies. So it's just a bunch of these kids trying to fend for themselves until potential rescue. Well, some of them focus on rescue, some of them just focus on trying to live on the island, and it becomes to where they start getting divided. But there's a specific scene in the book that I remember that was very talked about. Was there's a part where one of the kids that was trying to stay, who ended up becoming a savage, started chucking rocks at the other kids, and they didn't think anything of it. They're like, fuck, stop. But he kept throwing the rocks, and he kept throwing the rocks until he was hitting them in the head. And every time he did it, he would chuck a rock, it hit them in the head, and he'd look around. Like he was testing the waters, just testing to see how far he could get away with it. And in this sense, I think Dad was telling us about his Lord of the Flies moment where he was like, I'm going to stab her, and I'm going to see what happens.
And this is what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
She hit me so hard. I remember she hit me so hard, but it didn't hurt. What hurt was that she hit me. You know what I'm
like your
saying?
feelings got hurt. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Hey,
Even if I stabbed her.
Yeah, you
what I'm
weren't
saying?
self-aware that you had just stabbed her.
She hit me. Oh my God! I don't believe this.
Exactly.
No, but I expected it after I noticed it penetrated. Right? Yeah, I drew blood. And I don't think I poked her that hard. I'm gonna say that because
I mean, it was a little needle, and it was in like the fattiest part. Like I would hate if that got me in the arm or anything, but in my butt, it's like,
Yeah, just knowing that it was a thicker needle. It wasn't a little needle. It was a thick needle,
Yeah,
and probably got a pimple or something, and she got pissed
she got
off or
really
something. I
mad.
don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, but anyway, nevertheless, and that was one of the deals where I kind of like, yeah, you don't do shit like that.
exactly. So, and to preface that, what I meant to put towards the general as a whole is I wanted to write the book to kind of just put an example out there of kind of growing up, sort of thing like that. In terms of Dad grew up and had these kind of moments, and me and Sean grew up, and even Marissa, we grew up and had these same kind of moments. So, despite having, different tools or different weapons, we still had similar experiences in the sense of like just growing
Oh
up.
shit moments.
Yes. Oh shit moments, experimenting moments, having a vast belief, and even just moments of anger. And all that's to say, and I'll write this down, but it's just to say that we're all too similar. There's nothing that's really defining or separating us aside from a few labels. Gen Z, white, black, millennials, baby boomers, things like
Damn
that.
kids.
Exactly. Fucking dickhead dads. There's no difference. Literally none.
It's all the same, man.
We all have the same preconceptions, the same experiences. If not with the individual level, then just similar examples at the least. And it all just leads back to, I guess, saying that y'all are being dicks for no reason. Or
Yeah.
that if you're being a dick, you're just being a dick to another dick. Not.
Or you forgot that you were being a dick, and
Yeah, exactly. You
forgot why
forget that
being
you're
a
being
dick.
a dick, and then you forgot the whole reason why you were being a dick, and then you realize, oh, I was being a dick, and I shouldn't have done that. Maybe that's what the title of the book can be, is like, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a
After all I saw, all said and done, don't be
Yeah.
a dick. Oh shit. Yeah, we
Uh,
know this.
You think, yeah, you know this, but for some reason
don't.
we have to explain it, yeah, or you don't think about that. In terms of that, my chucking stones at a kid's head moment was it was baseball, or our little league baseball. I
Yeah.
because I remember playing and do stuff like that, and they were running the bases against our team, and I was covering one of the bases because that was like my position, and for some reason I thought of Tom and Jerry, and I thought of like holy shit, um, which one's Tom? No, it's Jerry. I remember now, and the only reason I remember is because that horrible racist caricature of that woman. Because I thought,
Yeah, the black woman.
yeah, I thought Tom was the mouse, but then I remember her going like, Thomas.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I remember like it would be Jerry like running really fast, and then he would like round a corner, and then he would like stick his leg out, and then he'd like brutally trip the cat, and he'd like fall and swallow a bowling pin or something like that. And I was thinking, is like, man, these guys are really booking it, and they're really booking it past me. And before I even thought about the next thought, I stuck my foot out.
And you tripped him.
I tripped him. I tripped him brutally. He was running fast because he was like, "Oh, I just hit the ball." Oh.
You're a cold-hearted motherfucker. You know that?
I tripped him, and well, I don't know if you remember this because I remember you kind of coming to my fence, and my thought process was, "Oh shit, I just hurt him."
Yeah.
And then my other reaction was immediately is like, "Oh, he just ran into me," kind of thing, like I was just covering the base and my foot was out. And
Well, it's not that I came to your defense. It's just that at those points in time, those were the times that they were handing out trophies to all the little kids, and I wasn't aware of things like that.
oh, so you just wanted to see some action.
I just want to see some little kid get bashed or something. I don't know. That was me just being a dad, I guess. I don't know, to see another kid, like go down on his face or something. It was baseball,
Yeah.
So just there's just those moments where they don't know how to play. It's up. What was it? T-ball.
Yeah, it was T-ball basically.
It's T-ball. They don't know how to play. They're just learning. He don't know he should be tripping a kid or not. He's trying to stop him. Well, with that being said, one time, I videotape, and we need to find this. I'll try to find it when I get a chance, and I'll set it up. And now that we're talking about it, I'm gonna set it up and bring all the videotapes and look at all the videos. We have a video of you, and you were always doing shit like that. Just, I don't know, what do you call that? Spite?
Zoning out, or just acting like on, or I guess acting
No,
out
like
spitefully.
I don't know if you really wanted to hurt a kid or not, or something of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I want to say
You know?
no, because I don't remember being kind of like spiteful sort of things like that. Because the moments I was
Right.
mentioning, like with Sean, was like when I was a little young, or like slightly younger,
Yeah.
and
He's a
then
baby.
yeah, like he was like literal baby. And then
Yeah.
for me, I don't remember ever having those feelings. I remember like getting upset and haughty, but I never thought about, like I'm gonna fucking hit this kid, or I'm gonna.
No, we even got pictures of you, everybody smiling except for you, because you were mad because you wanted that. You wanted the ball. You wanted the ball. You wanted to get him out. You wanted to. I don't know what the hell. Maybe you wanted to throw the ball, and in that
Nah,
instance, you did.
soccer gave me a complex on that one.
Yeah, that one too. You were always taking a picture when you had a mad face or something because something didn't go your way. Anyway, we have a video of you, and this was an accident. I do, and I'm not vouching for you. This was an accident. We were videotaping, and of course I'm being the dad. Get him out! You're no man. You can't do that. You can't be voting for your kid like that. It's like, what the fuck? What do you mean?
Wait.
No, everybody here gets a trophy. It's like, fuck that. I didn't come from that generation. No, you win or lose, everybody got a trophy.
Oh, really?
And that's what I was going for. Hey, we're gonna be the winners.
Yeah.
Well, one day, one little kid, and I was videotaping. One little kid threw the ball, and they didn't throw the ball. They hit the ball, and they hit the ball down in between second and third. And you ran after the ball. There was an outfielder out there, and you took the ball away from him.
Nice.
So you came all the way into the infield, and there was a little kid there. Throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. And you never threw the ball. You kept getting closer, because I think you didn't have the confidence in reaching when you were going to throw the ball.
Oh, no.
So you got close to him. Well, he turned around, and that's when you threw the ball. And you nailed the fuck out of his head. Well, he ducked, right? He was going to duck because he knew you were going to throw it to home. But at the same time, he jumped up. And when he jumped up, you just nailed him in the back of the head. This little kid reached down and was crying. Right? And I'm laughing. I'm videotaping. You got hit in the head. Well, his dad runs all the way. I don't know where the fuck he was at. He was probably over there on the third past the third base, runs all the way infield and looks at his kid and says, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm videotaping this, right? And the kid turns around holding the back of his head crying and turns around and says, "Yeah."
It just murderly screams.
And you're in the back biting your fucking teeth because you knew what you did. I mean, like I said, it wasn't done intentionally.
Yeah.
It was one of those deals where you break a glass and you're like, "Oh shit," and you were like, "Oh no," and you're over there biting your teeth like, "Oh no, I didn't mean to hit him in the back of the head or nail him in the back of the head."
Yeah.
And I got that all on videotape. But that's what I was laughing at, was your reaction out of it, not that he got nailed in the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I said I was laughing at him in the head. No, that's not what I was laughing at. I was laughing at your reaction, not that you could have murdered this child by throwing a ball in the back
Being
of his head.
cartoony with it, yeah.
And I'm over there cracking up, laughing and laughing. Look at his face, and everybody's looking at me like, "This motherfucker."
His dick.
Yeah, dick. Could be a dick.
Yeah. He's like, "You got a participation one for that."
Yeah. He needs a trophy for that one, yeah. Damn. And all along that time, I think it was Eva that was telling me, "No, you can't be saying that. Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets a trophy. You gotta cheer them on, even though they make mistakes and stuff." It's like, What the fuck? Are you serious?
So wait, were
I
there?
didn't know.
Yeah, were there memos that Eva was getting that you just weren't? Like,
Right. I don't know because well, she had gone through that with Beaner and Omar. You know, they were doing that, and I guess they started handing out those trophies at that point in time. Well, I wasn't around kids then. You know what I'm saying? I
mm-hmm.
was out doing my own thing, and then y'all came along, and it's like, oh wow, they're handing trophies to all the losers.
Boo.
Yeah, no,
Boo.
yeah.
Fuck those
Why even
kids.
play? Why even play?
Yeah. I didn't
So
really
it's
think
like,
anything of that. Like I wasn't sitting there like, this devalues my achievements as a winner. I just thought it was weird because I, as a kid, did know like, yeah, winners get trophies, losers get nothing.
nothing.
Yeah. But even then, I was still getting like all these rewards with everyone. It's like I remember kicking these guys' ass, and they're like walking around with the same ribbon as me. That's when I kind of felt like, oh, this is stupid. I don't want to do this shit.
Yeah, and see, I think that was a demeaning. I think that's when all hell broke loose. Right about before you were born, that's when all hell. I mean, all life went to hell, and
When
things started to change and everything.
that
I
was the
don't know.
singularity, that's when it all started to go downhill.
Yeah, when you were play a game and then everybody's a winner, and it's like, no, man, that's why you play the game because you have to have a winner and a loser, not.
You're trying to achieve victory, and
Yeah,
if
it's
that's
not
not
the
achieved, then there's no point.
participation.
Yeah.
I didn't win. I didn't play to bet and say not to bet. I mean, you play the game to win. I don't even know how to. What's the terminology for that? Where everybody wins. I mean,
I don't know
is
actually.
participation gaming, or I mean, really, what's the purpose of it?
I want to look that
But
up. I'm
anyway,
gonna Google everybody wins syndrome.
and that made me angry because I was like, I didn't grow up that way. Everybody, you competed, but you competed in a good way. There's some that couldn't take it, and some did commit suicide over it. I mean, I guess, but that weeded out the weak. I
Hmm.
shouldn't say that, right? But anyway,
The weak.
that weeded out the weak. He killed himself. I mean,
Yeah.
But no, that was a. It was about victory and winning and
Yeah.
getting that sense of.
I think that
But I don't know. I
falls.
think
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no. I don't know. Go ahead. Just rambling now.
I think that falls more along the side of the parents. Not anything like on you, but I feel like in the general consensus, parents got lazy. And it was
Yeah, but
easier to just say, here's your participation ribbon, you tried, instead of putting
yeah,
into context what the loss was.
yeah.
Not,
But okay. So you define it like that, but really, what started that shit? Was it the kid that lost and couldn't take it, and like I said, committed suicide over that? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I don't
or
think you'll
or
ever find
that,
the patient zero
or
in that one.
right, or was it the saying, I know my kid is slow, but he should not get a trophy. Well, go buy him one, fucker. I mean.
Yeah, I really don't know where you would pin that down, but it seems to be like a lot of those things, like say what you think is wrong with our generation, stemmed from the parents. Not you. I think it was just a general, like the general thing that was happening in terms of like,
I
yeah,
don't.
participation medals. Someone thought at some point all the kids needed to be held up, in which
Well,
case,
I'm gonna say I don't think it came from the parents because right now parents don't give a fuck. So if it was coming from the parents, those are from parents that supposedly cared about those kids that were losing.
mhm.
Then those kids that were losing grew up and have kids now. Those kids don't give a fuck, or those parents don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, because like if the parents don't give a fuck, that's an even bigger issue. But I think at some point, good intentions went sour.
Mm, okay, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, because I
But
like
then,
on
but then that comes from a yeah. Okay, I can see that. Then that comes from a parent who didn't have the stern hand of raising a kid, I guess, or
I,
something.
I want to say a lot of that is putting it into context. And I think that's probably what a lot of these stories stem from is like we decided that we were going to trip somebody or stab somebody because we never got it put into context like, hey, you shouldn't do that. That hurts people. We saw it in cartoons. We thought it was funny. And then when it actually happened, of course, you don't think you have to tell your kid, don't stab people bad. Whereas we went out and tried it, and then it happened, and then we were like, oh shit, I should not stab people. And then that's how we learned. I think the participation kind of falls in that. Because then, a kid loses, like, hey, you lost. It feels bad, doesn't it? Well, you can try harder, you can get better, you can practice the sport, and then there's a chance you could win. Like things like that.
Yeah. But those, I don't know. Yeah, but you always have the winners and you always have the losers. And you always have the mediocres and you always have, but that's your point in life, man. I mean.
Yeah, and I guess the thing to say with that was like, because it's the same thing. Is like, you don't think you have to tell a kid, don't stab somebody in the jugular, it will kill them that bad. You probably didn't think the same thing as like, I should explain this loss to him. I should explain why he lost the football game and why it's not necessarily a bad thing or something like that. You probably didn't think you had to put that into context, but now we have participation medals and everyone feels like a winner and nobody loses, and then the whole United States went down the tube after that.
Yeah, I think it did. Have fun.
Whenever participation awards were given out.
Did you ever get any like that, Sean?
I didn't really do much of like extra activities in like middle school, preschool. I don't think I did, right?
No, because they stopped that. They stopped the play days. They stopped the play days. They stopped cursive. They stopped all kinds of shit.
Or like
to be honest with you, I wasn't. Well, to be honest with you, I wasn't aware of that because I was the guy who was working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when Sean was born, Sean was the mama's boy because I told mama, hey, you gotta take care of these, man. This one here, I can't do it. I gotta go earn some money for the family.
Yeah.
And then Sean fell under your mom's care kind of thing. Yeah. And there's a lot of things that happened that I wasn't aware of when Sean was a kid or growing up as a kid, man. And it was like, fuck. And I kind of like blame myself on that, but I had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? I can't carry that guilt with me, and to put him like in T-ball and stuff like that. That was me having to. It was either that or go work and lose a house or lose a car or lose whatever. So I had to go work, and that's the reason why Sean didn't go play very much.
Yeah, I think also in that, in both of y'all's defense is, I think they were starting to put a bottleneck on like some of those, I guess, community activities, things like that. Because now I talk to some other people.
Well, they were because kids were coming up missing. Not only that, they were being abused, touched, and sexually molested and shit like that. That's when all that started getting real big, and the video games came into play too. So the video games became the babysitters,
Yeah, I won't argue on that one because I definitely had moments in my life where I was thinking that. But in terms of that too, like I said, I'll talk to some people nowadays, and they're like, they're the coach for the Little League team. They're saying like, we only got like 2 people to sign up, like to be part of the Little League football team or something like that.
That is messed up.
Yeah, it's kind of sad in a sense. It's like that's a kind of a tradition sort of thing you're losing out. And plus, community like oriented activities are always good for the community and the people growing up in it.
Yeah.
But in terms of that, yeah, it's depressing to hear. It's almost like hearing like, oh, a local business of 90 years closed down because people started shopping on Amazon or something like that.
Yeah. Here's what I didn't get. Walmart is still making bikes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Parents are still giving bikes away for Christmas. And I don't even think it's the parents. I think it's the grandparents not realizing that kids do not ride bikes anymore.
That
They
is
do.
total. No, they don't, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean, I
I
was
mean,
a fucking.
not like for like shits and giggles and like they do it for fun, but I see them riding like to school.
No, Sean, I was a fucking freak when I was like in middle school.
I'm a freak.
Because I was riding my bike and everyone's like, why do you do that? It's like, what do you fucking mean? It's a bike. It's a mode of transportation. Why are you asking me why I'm riding it? And they were like, nobody fucking does that anymore or something like that. I was like, yeah, I'm not the weirdo in this situation.
Yeah, man, that was a. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I passed like the schools and everything, and there's like always like a bike rack full of bikes.
Mm-hmm. No, seriously, when I was in high school, my bike was literally the only one.
Is it coming back?
I don't know. I honestly think it was just Cal Allen.
It could have been.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to say, none of this is unanimous with, like, say, if you're listening this from California, maybe I'll bike around there a little more or something
That's
like
what I
that.
was gonna say. Are these kids from California or something? Because ain't doing it no more.
Fucking Texas biased against anyone from the East and West Coast. New York City.
Y'all riding bikes as community? Get your ass a fucking cow.
Yeah, a horse. I fucking love that.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Sean has. I haven't paid attention. Because Sean's like, having that retro missing school kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, because I do remember like in high school, they're like, how do you get here? Or like, why are you sweaty in the morning? I got off my bike. They're like, what? You ride a bike?
Yeah. They they try to like, I don't know, like economically shame you or something.
As a nerd kid.
Yeah, they're like, hey, this guy rides a bike. It's a fucking 12-speed. Get him.
It's 12.
Yeah. Stab him in the butt. Stab him in the butt.
Yeah.
Quick, guys, stab him in the butt.
Stab him in the butt.
Yeah, I don't see kids anymore on bikes. I really don't.
Yeah, me either.
So,
Sean, those might have been the last of the Mohicans with you.
No, it was. I want to say I don't know what school it was. I think it was like a Ray High School or some shit. No, not Ray.
Yeah.
No, it was Ray too. They ride their bikes.
Maybe they thought because it was retro and
There's cool.
Yeah. He was like,
People
huh. Yeah. It's like, I got here in my ripstick. Would you drive
Ray
here?
is a bunch of Mexicans, though.
Yeah.
Ray is a bunch of Mexicans.
Yeah.
Compared to Kalalan, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's a big jump there.
That and I think veteran high school.
Yeah, that probably has something to do with it. But in terms of that, people were looking at me funny when I was riding my bike, probably because I was just the stinky, sweaty Mexican.
Yeah.
Joke's on you, white people. I got myself a pale-skinned wife. I got him.
Yeah.
What is that called?
You're a racist. You're
Yeah,
a racist.
I'm racist. Everybody's
Yeah,
fucking
that's
racist.
funny.
That's just how it happens.
That's funny though. It's funny though because I mean I looked at the guy at Walmart. You remember the guy from the Chinese restaurant? I went over to the guy at Walmart. Hey, what the fuck are you doing, man? He's like, what do you mean? What the fuck are you doing? Oh, I'm building bikes. Yeah, but why? Ain't no kids riding bikes anymore, man.
You're just freaking this random worker out. Those are nervous laughs, Dad.
Yeah, I
he
know.
he was tightening his grip on his little bike wrench. He's gonna have to defend himself.
He's like, I'm gonna nail this stupid fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I got him to laugh out there. Nobody rides bikes around here, man. What the hell's wrong with you? This little pink little girl bike you're making here. What the fuck is that shit?
All right, so we're approaching the minute 40 mark here. So I was thinking we could try to end this with some kind of finisher. I don't know. You know what? I think I do. We're gonna ask a hypothetical.
Let's say hypothetically.
Let's say hypothetically. You had.
You sure it's not going to go into another 2 hours?
We're gonna try not to, because the hypothetical obviously is supposed to get inside your head and do that kind of thing. and kind of see how you would react in those scenarios. Let's try not to get too existential. Off the top of your head, Sean, do you have any kind of hypothetical, or do I have to think one up here?
No, go ahead, think one up.
All right, give me a second. Or Dad, do you have a hypothetical?
No, because I didn't know we are gonna end it. So let's see.
Yeah.
Like,
If you had a kid and you knew he was slow, would you hypothetically give him a trophy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. That might be actually a good one. Yeah, let's get real deep with it. Let's just get these viewers just on the edge of their seats immediately. So you go to the doctor. Your mom. I say mom. No. Your wife gets the ultrasound and they look at the baby. They're like, ooh.
this one's a bad batch.
Yeah, this one's a bad egg.
That sperm was swimming sideways.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's just say that the baby's feet are where its hands should be and its hands are where its feet should be. And it was still within the reasonable amount of time to say, like, yeah, let's hit the reset button.
No, that's a touchy subject.
Yeah, that's too deep.
That's a real touchy subject there, man. You're gonna get people hating like a motherfucker.
In the first episode.
No, okay, well then let's throw it out there as a hypothetical, and I'll give you my situation because it's about me, right? Yeah.
No, we could just preface the hypothetical as: would you rather have feet for hands or hands for feet? How about that?
Nowadays it'd be like, let's just go with it. Fuck it. Let's just see where this is gonna take us.
Yeah.
No, hell no. I mean, hey, that's a worst fear. That there too, man. Is a worst fear. Mom and daddies, man. That shit right there is. Oof. I would press the reset button.
Oh boy.
I would. And that's one of my fears right there, dude. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just me. It's a doctor coming up to you and telling you, hey, we're gonna take some fluid and tell you whether the kid is normal or not.
Yeah.
And then that would tell you, what do you want to do? That's even told to people nowadays. Or I don't know nowadays because I don't know what the
you haven't had a child in a while.
Nowadays. Yeah, so I don't know. But that was told to us. What do you want to do? Was that an option?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That was an option for us.
So I guess what that would be a better hypothetical is: would you choose to take the test and see if the baby's going to have a major deformality if it was offered to you?
Right, and then that it wasn't offered to us. It was, how do I say, mandatory?
Kind of part of the procedure.
It was part of the procedure of you having a baby. Hey, we're going to take some fluid from you to find out if this baby's okay. Did you want the baby or not?
I guess that makes sense in terms of liability and other stuff like that, because obviously you don't want to go that far.
Exactly, because if you had that special child, then you had to get a special van, and of course I always wanted a perverted van, not a handicap van.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the difference. There's a difference in vans. So no, I'm just joking on that. But anyway, long story short, I would press the reset button, and they were giving us the option on that.
Okay.
And that is a scary motherfucker. That is a scary motherfucker.
That's an interesting answer, because I personally would not hit the reset button. But I want that to be, yeah, I know, right? Don't flame me yet. But for the viewing audience and the listening audience, I want that to be kind of a preface to kind of what the book is about. Is again, we're pretty much the same. We've had similar experiences and going through different things. In that we still might decide.
My generation versus your generation.
Yeah, we can put as much labels as we can on that, but I think the main goal or the main point of this is that we are still the same, and the only thing that's really going to be dividing us is experience. In terms of that, I've never had to sit in a white room and have a doctor come up to me and be like, "Hey, this is going to be bad." And I've never had that situation either where I had to care for a child. I've had to only care for dogs. So in my head, I'm thinking, no, I can handle, I can hang. But I don't know until I get into that room.
Yeah.
Sean, what about you?
For the most.
Well, I'll be honest. Well, no one wants to take care of It's a special baby.
Oh, okay.
What?
As long as it's being taken care of. Oh, fuck you, Sean. I took care of you, goddamn ass.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, no one is like goes out of the way. Like, I kind of want a fucked up baby. Not gonna lie. So it's like,
It's just hands for feet and feet for hands, guys.
oh yeah, oh with
Nobody
that.
said nothing about no
Okay.
fucked up, Sean. Remember, everybody's got a trophy.
Yeah.
So it's hands for feet.
Mm-hmm. And then feet for hands. Like he got them swapped.
Oh, the poor guy.
Oh my god.
Well, it was just like that. I mean, that's not like debilitating as
Yeah.
much. I mean, he'll get looked at. He'll probably get bullied, but no.
I guess the main part of the hypothetical is, would you make that choice on someone else's behalf? Because it would be somebody else that you're making that choice for.
No. Not on someone else's behalf.
Okay. I guess we could end that too with, Dad, would you rather have hands for feet or feet for hands yourself?
I guess I'm the asshole here.
No,
You
Sean,
know,
Sean said
coming
he would
from
hit the button. Sean said he would reset.
You would reset,
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'd reset because that's not a normal thing. And yeah, I do look at the other outcome like, hey, it's not my life, it'd be his life, and he'd be able to live it because it wouldn't be debilitating for him and shit like that. Yeah, but you wouldn't want to put him through that because deep down inside, like John said, nobody wants that kind of child or even to be looked upon or be made fun of and shit like that. It just why put yourself in that prediction?
Mm-hmm.
That's everybody's thought process.
Yeah.
And yes, like you said too, and I kind of feel for you too. If you say you can handle it, well, then you know what? All the power to you, because there's some of us that can, and then there's some of us that can't. And it's not that I can't; it's just that I probably wouldn't want to.
No, of course, because that was the choice given. So there's some people that that know, some people that believe, some people that could, some people that can't. Some people who rather have feet for hands and hands for feet. And yeah, we just have to recognize that we're all just people.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're persons.
This is the first and last podcast of my father's book. I'm glad that y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. We're gonna wrap it up here and go on to the next spout. But until then, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It's a free and easy way to help out the channel. Doesn't cost you a thing. But if you do want to help us monetarily, possibly with getting this book off the ground, or just help supporting the podcast in general, like getting Dad a mic instead of his phone, you can go down to our Patreon in the link below, where you have a few separate tiers of supporting us. One of which includes getting some free merch when the actual book comes out, a signed copy from Lucas Pukas himself. I didn't tell him about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sounds good.
Yeah, nobody knows how to
How
end
we
these.
gonna end it? We got there's got to be a way to end it.
Like, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. No.
And here's to my asshole dad. I'll do it because it'll have to be my voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the hiccup in there. And here's to my asshole dad. That kind of shit.
Yeah. All right, bye.
All right. Bye, bye, bye.